back until that happens. So get your flights booked. We are heading to Purgatory for match number 3. And our pilot these 2 days have been pretty nice, you know, just dropping everyone evenly. Probably because the pilot on the first day got fired for deciding to, you know, take those very edgy kind of path.
I mean, sometimes, you know, it gives you like new curveballs to throw at you, right? When it comes to these early phases of the rounds. Speaking of which, though, looks like Flash and Expand are going to be dropping onto each other here, onto what looks like the southern island here of Central. And it seems like they were able to hit the ground running, though, as they are able to position themselves in a way that prevents them from having to meet each other in open field. And given that there's plenty of urban environments to play around with here, Flash is just trying to use this little lull in order to try to gain some information about where Expand is exactly moving towards. Shin now forced to duck into the house as he hears some footsteps just to the north of him there. Bloody, in the meantime, still on the outside, still trying to see if he can spot any members of Expand, while Expand, in the meantime, trying their very best to keep them gate-kept, keep Team Flash gate-kept from the nearest bridge, hoping that eventually they will have to meet them in battle.
Yeah, on top of that, I believe MDH also ran into First Raiders, Dewa United ran into VGM. So it seems like all the 3 Vietnamese teams have kind of got themselves in a hot drop situation. Newbie getting his head taken off screen. And so far, Expand and Team Flash is more of just a symphony of footsteps around this compound, but I think none of them will want to let this go, especially when there's a revival point right on top of Central. Expand getting a couple of shots in, not enough to get a knockdown yet, but you can see that Flash are slowly but surely taking up more space.
And we see 666 Raph actually making his way across the bridge because Axis is set up at Mount Villa, which means that they potentially want to see who between these 2 squads who are currently fighting right now will be the ones that they will have to gatekeep going to the next circle. But that's if and only if that circle is biased westwards, though, because Mount Villa is not exactly in the center of that this current circle is literally around the edges as well. But Flash and Expand is continuing the siege here. It's going to be a bit of a long one, though, because of just from the safe zone landing on top of them means that there's no incentive really trying to move away from this position. We also have anxiety kind of spread out across the Fire Brigade as well as the Lumber Mill section as Expand finally find X-Roy. Flash now, we're currently seeing whether or not they'll be able to break out and find a flank against Expand here, but we got the Axel just running interference in the middle while 666 Rav tries to take some pot shots. Fortunately, he gets spotted out, so he's forced to bring out a glue wall here. May have to either wait for his teammates to rejoin him here to become a third party, or perhaps even think about peeling back, because Expand and Flash are just more or less tied up with each other. We got Bayo already keeping an eye on the bridge there, making sure that 666 Rav knows that he's been spotted.
Cobra, he's trying to sneak this capture on the revival point. It's going to take a while, though. Halfway through, can the rest of Expand, can Axel buy time? Roy is already out. Cobra needs a bit more, and it seems like he's doing a pretty decent job. No, Axis have decided to crash the party. Just a good swing from Shin gets the job done, and unfortunately enough, I think the revive has come true for Expand, so now they can afford to let Cobra go down in a blaze of glory. He's gonna get gunned down by Yanbin. Bio getting knocked by Axis. And thankfully Expand, they remain in the round. Can't say the same for the 2 Indonesian squads, though. Both Dewa United and First Raiders have been eliminated back-to-back.
I'll tell you what, MDH is having a monster of a fight just now, having taken out Dewa United after Dewa has just taken down First Raiders. So they're looking like they're having some good momentum at this point as Axis now joins the fray, trying to take down Flash while they're still weak. But Yanbin, he is not taking it sitting down, though. He's just going to be fighting to his last breath. And unfortunately, Flame 7 will be the one to finish him off. But Bloody has already peeled away from this battle, now trying to find a way to revive the rest of his teammates. But that's just outside of this next safe zone. The blue zone is closing in right about now, so it's going to be up to him, Bloody, at the moment to see whether or not he can continue to carry the flag for Team Flash.
Biggest winner, definitely Axis, as both Team Flash and Expand, they are bloody and bruised. The good news for Expand is that they were able to get the revive off, unlike contrary to Team Flash, who has no means to get those revive going at this point in time. Axis will just loot up the rest of Central before they consider the next course of action. with how the circle is right now, I think MDH is definitely in the best spot. But we've seen our past purgatory maps, a lot of these circles just ended up on the southern side. See if that's going to be the case this round.
Yeah, Expand's Sia has already found a revive point, so he's slowly trying to bring back the rest of his teammates there. So Expand already hitting the ground, running here. Farang in the meantime, looting around that high-tier loot zone that is just out of Marble Works. So that's going to allow them some breathing room at this point, because there's not really any other squads that's on this specific island here on the western side. So they have free reign to try to take control over this sector, while MDH seems to be on the move right now. VGM is starting to take some pot shots onto Anxiety, who is just trying to cross the river, which means that there's a possible gatekeep here. But Expand is also coming out to play as well, forcing VGM in a bit of a tight spot, because they're peeling out of that battle here, and now just ran into the clutches of Expand, who are looking to try to get some kills. X-Roy gets run over by a motorcycle, gets taken down by the blue zone itself, as VGM continues to try to fight out into this open field here, trying to make sure that they don't get caught out too soon, because Vantan is very, very low, needs to get into the safe zone quickly, so he picks up the car, picks up the pace. Expand's Cobra has already run away deep into the safe zone, while the Axel is still on the outside.
Yeah, they split up, so hoping that VGM will only focus their attention onto one and letting the other escape. I mean, they just revive, and unfortunately, they drop into the vicinity where VGM are. Cobra, there's no way you're hiding like that.
You don't even have an Achilles suit, or you thought you could just like sit silently and not be spotted like that. I mean, it's just so obvious, especially with your skin being so flashy. So I don't know what Cobra was kind of expecting in that instance there, but he thought that maybe the vision for VGM works by motion. So probably thought if I just sit completely still, I'll be completely ninja-like.
I mean, the fact that his name is Cobra makes it even more ironic, right? Because
Yep, it does actually.
He should understand the concept a bit more. But yeah, I mean, Axel, last man alive. There's a couple of medkits to work with, and thankfully, they're still running. Expand, they're still in the game. Anxiety on the other end, we get this very nice bird's eye view. Anxiety very much tucked in to their own little compound. MDH in front of them. Seems like Team Flash have already arrived into Brasilia as well. Actually, trying to go for the gatekeep. We might see a clash between the two Vietnamese squad. In fact, Team Flash, they have someone who is literally kind of scouting around. Not sure if they saw the Anxiety members though.
Not too sure, but then they certainly are trying to set up the sort of like spread to ensure that whichever team is going to be caught up between them is going to have a potential for a backdoor if Shin can just play his cards right. But if Shin actually starts firing first, that's going to put all the attention onto him in a 1v4, and that's not exactly what he would like, unfortunately. But then again, with the other members of Flash already at Brasilia, it's really only MDH had to keep an eye on, but MDH doesn't seem to be wanting to take the initiative really to push out the other squad that just arrived in their scene, so they're just mostly holding up, still trying to set up a siege, while Anxiety in the moment still playing around the outskirts here, not daring to move any further inwards until they know they are in the clear. But they do have a vehicle here. Hawkeye is going to go up the road here, and Flash is going to spot him out. Oh, just barely missed that one member of Flash though, and probably will allow the rest of his teammates to get through, and that's going to set them up from ambush. Yanbin then gets spotted. Oh, Basic, yeah, my goodness, Basic now gets under fire from Yanbin, but Yanbin fails to take him down quickly enough, so he's forced to get outside of the house. But Anxiety knows they're being hunted right now. There's a blue wall buster is going to be brought out here to try to hopefully make things a little bit messy indoors, but then Yanbin has to fight outdoors though, as Hawkeye gets himself knocked down with that Max 7 and takes out Yanbin.
I mean, Team Flash is not able to do much in that situation. The same can be said for Expand. I mean, Roy revived his team and they fly underneath the radar of KOG. Some of these teams just did not get to play Free Fire this round. Anxiety, show my up close and personal, able to get a good knock. Bayo, next one to go. Team Flash losing 2 members. Back to the drawing board it is for Team Flash. They are still in the running, but I mean, with all these staggered kills, it's gonna take quite a while for them to be properly geared up.
Yeah, I think Expand is looking at like probably a third reset here as they have kind of spread out a little bit after having brought back their teammates. But then unfortunately one of them got caught out as King of Gamers and VGM were moving down from the northern side, and actually that's worked out well for VGM because now they are inside the next safe zone along with Sem9 and Heavy. In the meantime, Anxiety is going to have to run right through where Expanse is, and possibly even MDH might get into that fight there. King of Gamers currently on that eastern side, just huddled together, not going out to the fields because that literally is a wide open space there that Bingsu is going to be able to cover by himself. So we see Newbie attempting to try to spot Bingsu as he takes onto the motorcycle and peels back in order to try to regroup with the rest of his team. While King of Gamers have already made their way up to the eastern side of this circle now and trying to set up base camp right on the road. And now a three-way fight starting to form here as Axis runs right in the middle of Farang as well as MDH. So shots are being rung all around here. Farang is going to be playing the gatekeeper role here as Six's Rav does get in front, does get the knockdown in the moment there. Neptune finishing off Jembo, while Heavy in the meantime takes some shots as well onto Axis from a distance, and this is becoming a four-way battle here with everyone just not involved on the ground here, just shooting at them from a distance, and that's completely decimating the lineup here for Axis because they're nowhere to be found anymore.
Yeah, they are all having a party right there, and Heavy once more just uncontested. Nero, just good parkour skills, gets a knock on the too bad, able to duck back down behind cover, even throws a couple of nades. See if he can secure that one on too bad, but he was able to not able to crawl away in time. Nero gets that one. Farang down to just Jesbu, and he knows that he is so vulnerable out in the open. Axis, they met that fate. It seems like Jesbu will follow suit really soon. MDH will be the first one to make that rotation. KOG on the other end, able to bring their members back up. VGM ends up going down. Still have Bun left alive, but a lot of these teams are mortally wounded.
Yeah, and Flash having the second reset means that they're not coming in with like the best possible equipment here. Jezebel is just spotted already by Nero, so he's going to try to gatekeep him through this blue zone right now. He knows that Jezebel is going to be under massive pressure given how painful the blue zone can be in this mid stage. Jezebel is going to run alongside through this wall though, so Nero's going to try to put his parkour skills to use while Expand gets himself eliminated by Yambin on Flash's side as a gate kept them from going to this next circle.
Yeah, X-Men didn't really get to play the game much. It was just reset after reset, so it's only a matter of time before they get knocked out. But Heavy, they look like they're in the best position right now. They have the numbers, they're all really healthy, decked out in their resources. They're tossing utilities over the wall, trying to see if they can get a couple of lucky ones onto MDH. And of course, the ENP is the one that's gonna take the brunt of it. Fudai, he is just so good with the trouble today. MDH decides to get away with Launchpad, but unfortunately, Heavy has already set up shop. They have a sniping squad looking for MDH, and if MDH runs away, they run into Anxiety. So there's just a lose-lose situation for MDH, and meanwhile, Jesbu is running out of glue walls as well. Buffalo, of course, snipes him out. And MDH right now, they have to deal with Anxiety, and KOG, they are on the other side of the map. You have VGM pressuring them. This is going to be a very populated circle.
Yeah, Heavy trying to regroup, but then Flash is trying to cut them off before they get to this next safe zone. But the blue wall is now closing around them, and this is also putting pressure onto Sem9 to try to get into the zone because they're seeing both King of Gamers as well as Anxiety trying to find the center there, and MDH now trying to storm the cabin that Anxiety is on and kind of force them out a little bit as Nero is trying to hold the door against Team Anxiety. Takes out Basic though, so looks like Anxiety is going to be hurting a lot more as Stroma is the last person still standing. Now VGM jumps into the fray as well as the next circle literally lands on top of MDH as well as Anxiety. So now they're looking to try to gain control of this last urban, like this last shack that's in the middle of this next safe zone.
KOG knocked out in the process by Sem9. MDH, Don't Cry, and Nero working hand in hand to keep each other alive, and they're doing a pretty decent job so far. Newbie finally blows Nero out with the nade. Anxiety goes out, MDH to follow. Sem9 4-man strong, and now this is kind of the ultimate show now. Sem9 against Heavy. Can Sem9 stop Heavy? Because so far this is one of the most aggressive Vietnamese team that we have in this tournament. And Heavy, they continue to push on forward. You can see Bloody from Team Flash. I believe he has been spotted out as well. Heavy is still holding, having a good foothold. Buffalo, another good shot to take out Team Flash. Sem9 getting pelted by throwables, and look at Sem9. They're actually surrounded from every single angle. Raja, he's trying to buy as much time as possible. ZenOP down, right in the front lines, down and dirty. Heavy with Tom XT on top of the roof, able to keep Sem9 in check. VGM having their one survivor sneaking from behind. Fudai gets the first one onto Fikri. The glue wall melter is going to start melting the defenses of Sem9. Boite, can he spoil this one? Buffalo is trying to hold Boite back. Sem9, Fikri goes down. V Gaming is already out. A 4 versus 4 for the final circle.
Yep, and the thing is that Heavy has the advantage here with Tom XC continuing to provide fire support from on top of the roof here, making it hard for Sem9 to make a close approach. Bonfire has been brought out as the rest of Heavy now try to meet them out in open ground to try to flush them out, or even try to set up a flank, but Fudai is going to be taking a bit of damage there with Raja and ZenOP already taking position close to the barn side. Fudai now is going to be under fire here. Can he continue to try to hold himself out inside the fences there? Looks like he's going to be under a lot of problems here. We cannot get this member of Sem9 away from the fences here. He's wrapping around there, tries to go head-to-head, but unfortunately gets knocked down. Heavy in the meantime, Tom XT not able to support him. Passing down, the glue walls get broken down, and he's now down on the ground.
What?
Buffalo able to get a shot just from behind. Can he finally pull in a good shot there? No, Newbie finishes him off along with Raja with the Charge Master, and Sem9 takes their second booyah in a row today.
Yeah, Sem9 on an absolute tear. Entirely of Phase 2. It started Phase 2 in first place, and so far they are still in first place. I mean, Tommy is going to be really happy about this.